BF Day proudly presents Mr. M's Math Class.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 15 of Mr. M's Math Class. I'm sure immediately you can tell that my voice is not what it was. I got really sick on Saturday, and so I'm going to try to keep this video somewhat short because I'm trying not to talk as much. First thing we're going to do is look at pictures of you looking at episode 14, and also funny pictures of me, of course. Two, we're going to have a new estimation 180, and this was provided to us by Renee and Vance. They actually didn't work together, but they have the same estimation, so thank you for that estimation. Three, I'm going to give the answer to the quarantine challenge question, and then I'll announce the winners as well. Four, I'm going to do some of the questions on the worksheets that I saw people had trouble with. So I'm going to specifically do 2 questions on the worksheet. Then I'm going to introduce a new math exploration for this episode. 6, I'm going to introduce a new coloring sheet and a new quarantine challenge question that'll be due in a week. And then 7, I'll have a goodbye message, a short goodbye message, and then the estimation 180 question answer. So here are pictures of you and pictures of me from the last episode. As always, thank you so much for the pictures of you and also of me. It's really funny to see all those pictures and all the time that you take with them, so thanks for sending those in. So our estimation question this episode is, how many Lego pieces are in this space set? And again, this was both by Renee and by Vance. And I've also seen this piece with Mateo and Oliver, so I think you'll know the answer to this one too. So again, it's how many Lego pieces are in this space set? Alright, thank you guys for that estimation question. So now we have our quarantine challenge question answer. So the question was the matchstick match. You needed to find 10, place 10 matchsticks to in the diagram to make them be the same shape in the same area. And here's a picture of the answer. So it needed to look like this in order for you to get it right. A lot of you got really close, but one of your shapes was a rectangle rather than an L, and that threw your answer off, even though you used 10 pieces, and the area might have been the same, but the shape wasn't the same. And the winners of those are below right here, so nice job on getting those correct. I'll send you an email later this week about the lunch. The lunch will happen on Friday, but congrats. Alright, so I'm gonna focus on Aaron's arrays here. And again, I apologize for my voice, but this is the best I can do, so I'm hoping that you can understand me. So I'm going to look at number 1. I'm going to do part A and B. And then I'm going to do number 3 and look at letter B. So those are the ones that I'm going to look at here. So in this array, we have 2 and 1/3. So this one's split up into 2, and this one has to be 1/3. Yep. And then here, that means that this side has to be 4 and 1/4. And so this one is 4, and that's 1/4. And you can see they put a little error here because the numbers won't fit in there. But here I'm multiplying 2 times 4, which gives me 8. Here I'm multiplying 2 times 1/4. And 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, which is the same as a half. And so that's half. Here, they wrote down the equation as 1/3 times 4, which is 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, or 4/3, and that's just 1 and 1/3. So just a quick way of doing that. I know I went that really quickly, but when you're multiplying a fraction and a whole number, it's just repeated addition. And then here I have 1/3 times 1/4, and if you remember last time, you just multiply across, and that's 1/12. So then what I'm doing here is I'm adding 8 here, 1/2, 1 and 1/3, and 1/12. Now, all these denominators have different numbers in the bottom, right? I have a 2, a 3, and a 12, but they all have something in common, which is 12, which is pretty cool. So I can change this 1/2 into 6/12, and that's the same. I could change this 1 and 1/3 to 4/12. Then I can add these up much easier. So then now I have 6/12 plus 4/12 is 10/12 plus 1/12 is 11/12. And then I have 8 plus 1, which is 9. And the answer is 9 and 11/12. That's a very tricky question. So if you struggled with that, it's okay. This is some of the more complex stuff in 5th grade math for sure. And then I wanted to go over number 3. So if you remember the doubling and halving, this 32 is halved to make 16. Which means I have to double the 2 and 1/4. So if I double 2, that's 4. And if I double 1/4, that's a half. So I end up with 16 times 4.5. You might be thinking, how is that any more helpful? I mean, you can argue one way or the other, but that's what is in this box. So then you can do 16 times 4. And that gives me 64. And then I have to do 16 times half, which is just 8. 64 plus 8 gives me 72. And 72 is the answer for that question. I would not worry too much about this one if you didn't get this completely, especially the 4th graders. You'll get this next year. 5th grade math, if you want some more practice on this, please reach out to me and I'll send you another worksheet. No problem. All right, so for math exploration number 15, we are going to go back to playing games, but this time I'm going to give you 2 choices. You can play the product game or the product game version 2, which is a little bit more challenging. Everyone has played this game already, but I'm just going to really quickly show you how it works. You can either print this sheet out or you can recreate it on another piece of paper. And you can use 2 paper clips, but I couldn't find any paper clips. I'm just going to use my Pikachu and my Bulbasaur here. And you decide who's player 1. So I'm going to be Mr. M is player 1, and Kenneth is player 2. So player 1 doesn't actually get to go first. They just put the first marker down. So I'm going to put it on 8, and then 8 times 5. So player 2 did an 8 times 5, and that's 40. And I'm going to do circles. And then the other person just has to move one of these. And you can put them in the same spot if you want. So I'm going to do, let's do 5 times 5. That's 25. And then let's do 5 times 6.
and you go so on and so forth until one player gets 4 in a row. Same concept for the other version. The numbers, though, are a little harder because you start at 6 go all the way up to 15. So the multiplication gets a little more challenging. You can take a picture of your work that you played. You can play both versions if you want. What I would really love would be pictures of you playing with someone. So if you're playing with a sibling or with your parents or a family member, I want to see those pictures. So that counts as your work. So if I see you playing with somebody and you send me a picture, that would be fantastic. That's really the one thing I want to see. So that's this challenge. That's this math exploration.
All right, so we're nearing the end of our episode. I wanted to show you the new coloring sheet. And the new coloring sheet is this, and it's a link, and it's just, I hope that you enjoyed that. And then the quarantine challenge question is called Cutting Corners. A 5x5 square has its corners cut off as in a diagram below. By making precisely one continuous cut, divide the figure into 2 pieces that can be reassembled to produce a 4x6 rectangle. The interior lines are just for reference. They do not need to be preserved in a dissection process. So that means that you don't have to cut across those straight lines inside. So you can cut it however you want. But this top sheet, this top array, you have to cut it in a way to make it look like a 4x6. So it's a bit challenging, but I think you can do it. And so that's the coloring sheet and the quarantine question. I wanted to just really quickly say thank you again for the teacher appreciation gifts. I'm completely floored. I don't know what to say. I really appreciate it. And I truly miss teaching all of you. And it's really hard to be here and not see you. It's been such a long time. I feel like I'm going crazy. But I'm looking forward to the interviews that I'm going to have this week. I know some of you weren't able to sign up for some. I'm going to have some more next week. And then also remember the Pi memorization contest. It'll be happening on June 5th. And so that's coming up pretty soon. So if you want to start memorizing some of those, you totally should. I'm going to email it again and put it in the new folder for this week as well. Yeah, I'll see you later. And hopefully on Friday, my voice will be a lot better. So I'm crossing my fingers. All right. Bye, guys.